If you've been a fan of this channel for a while, you know that I kind of hate spending money in the summon pools, but this might be one to tempt me. Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. I wanted to make a video talking about the summon pool today, because I actually think it's a really, I don't want to say good, but okay. It's a really okay-ish opportunity if you are a spender. Now, I know that the majority of my content on here in the past has been free-to-play. Unfortunately, those free-to-play accounts are taking a break. You know, I've talked about this in depth on the channel that, you know, family's taking up priority right now. I don't have time to run 2 accounts, and as dominant as the roster is on that free-to-play, I don't have the gear to back it up. So, unfortunately, I have to pick one account, and this is the better account right now for progression and so on and so forth. So we're talking less about free-to-play stuff. If you are free-to-play, though, I would say that you should probably go for every time that they give a tournament that offers the Prism crystals, because why not, right? If you're free to play, the epics might still have value for you, and there's always the chance that you could get a very, very good legendary, and we're going to talk about them in a second. Listen up, I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free to play adventure and get a free Elenaril as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. I think that as a free-to-play player, you should be going for these every time if you can get the Prism Shards, right? If they give a good enough opportunity. In this case, it's a Gear Ascension tournament. That's a good opportunity, right? Anytime, in my opinion, that there's Gear Ascension, I want to be farming that dungeon straight up, because, or in this case, one or the other, right? I want to be farming those because those rewards, and it's mostly the dust that really matters. And so giving myself a chance to get dust and get more rewards is always something that I'm going to go for. Now, these have started to get a little expensive, but, you know, I think it's worth it to put some gems into during these types of situations. But I would say if there's ever one that I would not recommend skipping, it's going to be this one if you're free to play. And if you are a spender, I would give pause and give to the summon pool. Hey, shout out to Neo subscribing in the middle of a YouTube video. Hopefully you get to see that. That's cool. Okay, so we are going to now talk about why I like this summon pool so much. For those of you that don't know, because I do have some people that maybe aren't familiar with this, the way the summon pool works is this is essentially a sacred shard. It is a 6% chance of a legendary, 94% chance of an epic. If we look at a sacred shard, has a 6% chance at a legendary and a 94% chance of an epic. But it's from a specific pool. So instead of having a 6% chance of getting any legendary, you have a 6% chance to get only these legendaries, which there is value there. These actually are also somewhat cheaper than sacred shards. I wonder if there's anything in the shop right now for a sacred shard. Let's see what we got. No, nothing for a sacred shard right now. While I'm thinking about it, never look at the bank as like your these prices, these packs, these are all way overpriced. This is not valid. I would not spend $10 on an ancient. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel like they value, I like sacred shards at $15 a piece when I'm spending, but I think they value them around $20 is usually what they put them up for. Sometimes it's even $25 when they put them out on sale. So if we look at the summon pool and we go to the crystal offers, let's just do 210 for 50. What is it for a pull? 40, because I'm me. Yeah, so you're getting 4.2 for 50. That's about $25. So maybe these aren't as good of a deal as I had originally thought that they were, but then they do have better deals. I wonder, let's take a look. I haven't looked at any of these deals. I'm not spending for this, to be completely real with you. Oh yeah, 160 for 40. That's 4 of them for $40. So that's $10 a shard, a pull. So that's pretty good when you consider what a sacred would go for. So again, I'm not spending for this, but if I was in a position where I could spend again, this would be something that I would be interested in spending on because of how good the champions are in here. And let's talk about them. So first of all, the headline champion. Okay, so let's talk about the headline champion. So correct me if I'm wrong, and please do, guys, because I get things wrong all the time. If you want super 100% accurate content, you are in the wrong place, but I will do my best to entertain you while entertaining myself as well, apparently. Okay, the headline champion, the way that I understand it, so you have a 6% chance to pull any of these legendaries, and I'm guessing that they calculated out to be a 2% chance overall that you're going to get Vulkanos, right? And then a 4% chance that it'll be one of the others. So once you get the headline champion, you can no longer get them. This has been instituted because people went for Teox and got like a +4 Teox, you know, with a couple hundred, maybe $1,000, right? So, actually, no, it was probably more like a couple $1,000s, to be honest. Anyways, either way, my point is that once you get this headline champion, they're gone. But that's what we're really shooting for, at least I would be shooting for, is Vulkanos. Very, very strong champion. You've probably encountered him in Arena. He's definitely given me a lot of trouble, but very strong champion overall. I'm a fan of Vulkanos for sure. I do not have him, which is why it's tempting for me and might be tempting for you guys. We can look at his reviews. You can see pretty much everywhere except Fire Knight, which makes sense. He is good. I'm not going to dive too deeply into his kit, but he is a faction unity champion, which they are not available outside of events where they are available. I know that sounds kind of contradictory, but to make it make sense a little bit, if you guys don't already know this, we go to the Sacred Charts and you go to the info. Behind me is a list of names that are not available from Sacred Shards unless specified. And I will find his name eventually. Vulkanos Fulmore, right here, right? You guys can see it right there. He is not available to pull from shards, right? So unless there's like a 10x or another way to get them where they say, oh, they're available for this period of time. And so these summon pools are a good opportunity to get one, and Vulkanos is a good one. Some of the other ones are not so great. I wouldn't go for them, but Vulkanos is a good one. It's not just Vulkanos that makes this so great of an opportunity. You also have really, really good legendaries in this pool, okay? Heffrak, look, Heffrak, I don't know that he's like he was one of my first nukers on this account, like good nukers. I have a soft spot for Heffrak. I don't know if he is still like really big in the meta, but I gotta tell you, I have a hard time sometimes dealing with a stone skin Heffrak with a really squishy team that I kill and Heffrak blows me up, right? I think Heffrak's still certainly viable in a lot of areas. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, when an ally is killed, Heffrak uses this A2, and this A2 hits hard and ignores 15% of defense already. So if you've got him souped up with a good blessing and whatnot, very, very solid, right? Then we have Duchess. Now, Duchess, I do think has fallen off a little bit. For me, I've actually had to go back to I tried to go back to Duchess. It didn't work. But the one thing that Duchess really has going for her is that she decreases damage taken from allies by AoE by 25%. And that's very valuable. You wouldn't necessarily think so, but it is, because it's just outright damage reduction, and there's no caveat with it. Like Pythion reduces it by 5% for each buff, I think, where she just outright does it. So really good champion. Speed in all battles aura. And then you have a full team revive, and she brings block debuffs and increase attack, as well as veil on the entire team. This is a great champion. She's fallen off a little bit. I do think Elva is better than her at this point because she brings the cleanse and that block debuffs, but you trade it off for a single target revive instead of a team revive. But still, if you don't have like a support reviver, like this is a huge one. If you started day one with a Duchess, you would be going deep into the late game. So Cheshire Cat, very, very hard-hitting nuker. One that I wish I had. I have allies. I almost said allies. I have clan members and friends who have Cheshire Cat, and they love him. Now, I don't know him well enough, and I have run into a few that kicked my butt in live arena and other areas. Cheshire Cat is a really solid champion. And I definitely recommend, you know, if you have a chance to go for him, I think he's a good one. And the speed in all battles, man, you cannot underrate speed in all battles today, right? Because of Clan Siege. Getting an extra aura like that, speed in all battles in Clan Siege, is so huge because you don't have to bring another champion. Or Cheshire Cat can be your lead, and you can still bring like your super fast Arbiter or your super fast Armands whose auras don't work in Siege, right? So there's definitely value in that as well. And then you have Kymar. Kymar, look, I get it. Kymar is not Yumiko, but he is still a cooldown reduction, a complete full cooldown reset of your skills with Kymar. Still solid, right? Good setup champion in arena where you can guarantee it. So like regular arena, I would say, and tag team arena, great setup champion, especially, you know, you sleep them and then you hit them. And if you have the masteries, if you guys watch my mastery video, you'll know that there's a mastery that makes you do more damage to enemies under sleep. And then poisons is this A1 is really good for faction wars hard because you're going to need a poisoner, and there aren't that many in that faction. The rest of them here are pretty decent as well. Helikath is still a very dominant champion, and if you are struggling on clan boss, he can pretty much solve it by himself in a lot of ways, to be honest with you. Love Helikath. I've always gotten him far too late on any of my accounts that it just didn't really make sense to build him, so I've never gotten to play with him, but good champion overall. Wither is a huge support champion. Doesn't bring a revive, which is kind of a problem in today's meta. Like if you're thinking about, well, where am I going to use Wither? Most of those places where you're going to potentially lose champions, right? And so it sucks not having that revive. I don't like not having a revive. Like in Hydra, I don't want to risk it in case like something goes wrong and someone dies. I have to restart my whole run. And in Chimera, people will die. So Wither is still a really, really good support, massive support, and is going to help you a ton in hard faction wars as well. Sissia, I don't have Sissia. I would love Sissia because I have Cardial, and I think she pairs up with Cardial as well. But Sissia is really good, decreased defense and weaken. Let me make sure this isn't any caveats. Okay, so it does have to be under burn for the decreased defense part, but still, that kind of checks off a box for you, brings burns. And yeah, good champion. I'm not as familiar with Sissia, like I said, because I'd never pulled her, so it's kind of hard for me to say. And then I don't know anything about Priva the Slitherer, but looked like a support, increase defense and increase speed with a heal on all allies, a single target revive, kind of a cleanse when I read this earlier, and then transferring the debuffs to the enemy could be pretty good. I'd say probably okay support. It's not one, I wouldn't put it like Duchess level, right? But you get a revive. It's just you really want to cleanse these days with a lot of irresistible debuffs coming out. So, but overall, the champions that are available in this summon pool, I think are very, very good and are definitely worth it. If you are a low spender, if you are a waiting for the right time spender, obviously if you're a big spender, you're probably pulling here. If you don't already have Vulkanos, you're probably spending money on these Prism Shards. But if you're a really, really big spender, you've already got all of these champions, and this isn't going to be that enticing for you unless you're looking to, like, you know, +4 your Hefrak or something. At the end of the day, I think that this is a really good opportunity. If I was still spending, I would probably put a few bucks in here. And as far as the epics go for free-to-play players, there are good ones down here as well. You've got Allure. She's a game-changing when it comes to early Fire Knight and other dungeons, other areas as well, like always forget her name. Oh, Dark Fae. There we go. Hey, I remembered it. Yeah, she's great against Dark Fae as well. One of the really solid champions there. Magnar is good as well. I gotta tell you, anytime I've gotten Magnar, I've had a really hard time getting use out of him. I gotta be real with you, because I either pull him too early when my account isn't really, like, you know, I don't have a lot of HP, you know, like in an early game account, it really helps to have an attack-based champion because you can increase their attack, right? it's kind of hard. You can't increase the HP of an HP nuker, so it tends to be a little difficult to get going. And then like in the mid game, when you really can get Magnar going, I think it's just, there's a lot of other really good nukers out there these days. So it's kind of hard to really get use out of a Magnar. And I know some of you are going to scream at me, be like, Magnar, you know, did all this stuff. It's like, remember, we're in, you know, 2025. Like, Magnar was a powerhouse in his day. And I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I have never, all of my free-to-play accounts, I have pulled a lot of Magnars. And I've never been able to get the optimal use out of him that I wish I could have gotten. Now, that could be on my bad play. That could be on my bad gear. There's a lot of reasons why a champion might be not so great on one account and amazing on somebody else's account. But that's been my experience with him. But he could be really good on your account, and I want to make that clear, right? Just for me, never really delivered. So, but would be good in hard faction wars, I think, especially for the stun level. So yeah, overall, I think this is a really good opportunity if you're looking for Vulkanos, or if you're looking for some demon spawn champions, if you're looking for any of the champions that I listed off and how good they could be for your account. I recommend taking a look at this summon pool and making the decisions based on what is best for your account. So just wanted to give that a shout out, because I hate the summon pool. I want to be clear. I have 2 archer queens, one of whom I got in the summon pool and the other I got on a 10x, and it made me regret. I hate summon pool because, man, it hurt my wallet. Okay. And so I don't want to recommend anybody, you know, to necessarily go to the depths that I did way back when it came to the summon pool. But I do think if you are a spender and you don't have some of those champions, and they would be good for your account, I think it's a good opportunity, and I wanted to shout that out. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new here, please consider subscribing like that other guy did in my video not that long ago. I don't have my stuff up, so I can't see what his name was, but yeah, maybe if you subscribe late at night, you'll pop up in one of my videos, huh? But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.